Did you know that after Donald Trump and Melania met, she got what was called an Einstein visa? She was treated like a genius. A policy that Donald Trump is blocking, and that Donald Trump would send people like that, I guess if their skin color was brown or black, to concentration camps in the Everglades called Alligator Alcatraz. Exceptional achievement visa that gave her a fast track to become a United States citizen. She then used her citizenship to bring in her family members.
Problems. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you hate this content, please take a second to like and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing.
Melania, Donald Trump's dark past. It's resurfacing in ways it's his worst nightmare. So I think we should explore, how did Donald Trump meet Melania to mingle and find very young models from Eastern Europe. And Melania was here. You see, Donald Trump went to a club in Manhattan called the Kit Kat Club, where there were parties that were frequently thrown for very rich Manhattan elites, businessmen.
It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great! So much. Now to the video. Months ago, Russian talk shows treated Trump like an honorary cousin they were proud to show.
A model from Eastern Europe who was brought to the United States, who would attend these parties where the rich men would show up and mingle with the models. So in order to mock Donald Trump, so they show all these photos of Melania. By the way, Melania's previously made posts about how proud she is of her nudes, but right now, Russia, it's weaponizing Melania's past. I don't know if you know this, but on Russian TV, they frequently show Melania nude.
Unions. You'd see hosts smiling eerily played clips of him ranting about NATO or calling out Western aid to Ukraine. He wasn't another US president to them. He was practically the loud America kept their enemies awake at night. They replayed his interview, hyped up his speeches, and talked about him, only one who got it. And one named up during those golden days?
1997, he's out there partying with Epstein and Ghislaine. This is from the London Sunday Mirror. This is 1997. How sweet. Trump was before Melania, okay? This is 1997. Trump 50, who has failed in his bid to secure the services of Princess Diana's butler, Paul Burrell, was in search of another British trophy when he's Brit of all right, just weeks after ditching his second wife. America's best-known billionaire, Donald Trump, has fallen under the spell of a 20-year-old English girl.
Yeah. She was either invisible or mentioned like a nice piece of set decoration. Then something. Overnight, that warm glow turned into an ice bath of snark and suspicion. Russian state, especially the loud nightly circus that is 60 Minutes with Olga Skabeyeva, stopped handing out the compliments and started dropping ads sound like they belong in a bad Cold War spy movie. Suddenly, Melania's not just the polished lady, they're calling her a Ukrainian agent, playing some secret Russia from inside Trump's orbit. Skabeyeva even looked straight and called her an underestimator to Russia. You could almost hear the dramatic spy thriller music in the background. And it's not just one TV host cooking this up. The Kremlin. 5 months ago, Russian TV hosts were basically Trump's hype squad. Now, they're calling Melania.
And none of his would-be rivals owned a vast mansion in Florida like Donald does. Mar-a-Lago, where I have dined with him, the author writes, is enough to make any young girl go weak at the knees. He met London model Anushka DeGiorgio at a party in Manhattan. Several American millionaires already had their eyes on Anushka, but she was there with Robert Maxwell's daughter, Ghislaine, who has introduced several of her attractive friends to the property developer. After their meeting, Trump flew Madame Maxwell, they called her a Madame Maxwell, and the model south to the Sunshine State, where all three enjoyed a happy weekend together.
An agent. Yeah, you heard that right. From wearing designer gowns to being the Kremlin's latest boogeyman. This isn't gossip, it's a propaganda pivot with teeth. Olga Skabeyeva is out here saying Melania is an underestimated danger to Russia. Why would they turn on her now? And what does it mean for Trump? If your wife just became public enemy now, you've got problems. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but a difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great! Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. A few months ago, shows treated Trump like an honorary cousin they were proud to show off at family reunion.
Doubtless it is the start of a long, and by Trump's standards, it already is, friendship. So that's what was happening there. When they returned to New York, Anushka was installed in one of Donald's many apartments there. Mr. Georgia likes older men. She went out once or twice with this other person. So Donald Trump's out there doing that. And then Donald Trump's out there going to these parties at the Kit Kat Club to meet. This is separate than what I just said. This is separate. He's just going out there to meet, these young models. So
you'd see hosts smiling whenever they played clips of him ranting about NATO or calling out Western aid to Ukraine. He wasn't just another to them. He was practically the loud American neighbor who kept their enemies awake at night. They replayed his interviews, hyped up and talked about him like he was the only one who got it. And one name that never came up during those golden days? Melania. She was either invisible or mentioned like a nice piece of set decoration. Then something flipped. Overnight, that warm glow turned into an ice bath of snark and suspicion. Russian state TV, especially the loud nightly circus that is 60 Minutes with Skabeyeva, stopped handing out the compliments and started dropping accusations that sound in a bad Cold War spy movie. Suddenly, not just the polished first lady, they're calling her a Ukrainian agent, accusing her of playing some secret role to undermine Russia from inside Trump's orbit. Skabeyeva looked straight at the camera and called her an undercover to Russia. You could almost hear the dramatic spy thriller music in the background. And it's not just one TV host cooking this up. The Kremlin-friendly paper Vyshgad ran with the same story, blasting out articles that make it sound like Melania was holding secret briefings with Ukrainian intelligence, taking holiday photos. They mix gossip headlines with just enough shadowy espionage to make it sound dangerous. It's a strange brew, part fashion spread, part KGB memo. One rehashing her modeling career, the next she might have slipped classified info to America's enemies. It's like they can't decide if they want to smear her or pitch a Netflix series about her. The timing isn't random. With the 2024 election on the horizon, using Melania's image as a weapon against Trump serves a neat purpose. Attack her credibility, question her loyalty. Trump looked compromised, distracted, and maybe even vulnerable in his own home. If you can make his base wonder whether secretly working for an enemy